one question with your Kate as well. Do you got a letter or not?
Yeah, I will.
What are you drinking?
Tea.
What kind of tea?
It's green tea mixed with honey and something.
And
I
something?
don't know the third component. I sort of forgot what the third component is.
It's a specialty.
I guess the third component is water.
Vamos, Riley.
Complete bollocks. It's apple and I don't know what the third thing in English. Holunder.
Yeah.
But,
I understand German as well. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So, does this work with screen share or?
Yeah, I'm just going to do the screen share.
Yeah. Take your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry.
No, I think the face like you are in black and white screen.
No.
No, it's just that there is less light.
I think now I can see you very much better. Sorry, Nathan, you were saying something.
I forgot.
I forgot.
Por tu culpa. No.
No, my guilt.
Real phone?
Yeah.
Great.
Ich schreibe dir später.
There is an interesting fact, and we will not get into this in detail. He was supposed to be the first Prime Minister of independent India, as 12 out of 15 working committees of the Indian National Congress had voted in favor of him being the first Prime Minister. Mahatma Gandhi thought that Jawaharlal Nehru being the Prime Minister and Sardar Vallabhbhai being the Deputy Prime Minister and the Home Minister would be a better solution to shape India ahead. With that, I come to the second slide, and in the second slide you can see here the map of 1860. This is during the British time, and as you can see, it was something like that. And finally, what you see in 33 million forms just in Hinduism only. If you talk of the states, provinces around the Indian country, we have 28 states which have regional governments, so they have chief ministers. We have 28 chief ministers for the 28 states, and we also have chief ministers for union territories. So there are 8 union territories which are directly under the central government, and this term actually means National Capital Territory of Delhi. Basically, Delhi has taken few cities around it, a region, and that's called National Capital Territory of Delhi. In terms of political parties, since it's a vast country, we have around 2,600 registered parties fighting for the benefit of the regional or local benefits. And we have 6 national parties like the Congress, National Congress, BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party, BSP, CPI, having 2 factions, CPI and CPI, and the NCP. These are the main national parties out of the 2,600 parties. Important facts: We are the second most populous country, seventh largest by the area. And I've put a very interesting thing here. First, I'll tell this. This is a Hindi word meaning Adivasi. We have around 645 recognized tribals. So we have 645 tribal people living all across India. It is very interesting. I will not be taking much of the history because that I'll take the help of this beautiful video which will come up next. 97, Shri Rajendra Prasad was our first president. He served a long time. Then we all know Pandit Nehru was the first prime minister. CPI was a major party in opposition, and Shri A.K. Gopalan, who was heading it. If we talk of the year as of now, Shri Ramnath Govind is our 14th and current President of India. Shri Narendra, very famous, the 14th and current Prime Minister of India belonging to BJP. And Srimati Sonia Gandhi chairs opposition party, which is Congress. We were trying to oppose the British rule, and that's why you have the British. And that's why this flag came. But this is more interesting. If you see, the flags are nearly 1921 laid the path for our current flag. The red color is for, the green is for Muslim, and the white is for other religions. And in 1947, the flag, the current flag was presented to the country. And the reason why you don't see the spinning wheel is because mounted a spinning wheel showing the progress of the country, but the flag would not be symmetrical. So that's why everyone came to this decision that this wheel will be taken from the Ashoka pillar. And that's how that wheel came there. Saffron shows courage and sacrifice, white and purity, green is faith and fertility, and the wheel symbolizes motion, growth, or virtue. Now, I want to push a video resource, and yeah, to all of your screens.
Is it a YouTube video?
Yeah.
Then I think it's the best option if you can, like, yeah, there are
Yeah. There is a
right
link.
at the bottom. There are like 3 points, and then you can we get like the then sharing screen.
Okay, and enjoy the.
Travels. Over the last 5 years, I spent months traveling all around India, visiting tons of different places, from big cities to tiny villages, from sky-high mountains to lanes, from some of the richest areas to some of the poorest slums as well. As a result, a lot of different people have been asking me hundreds of questions about what it was like in India. And that is why I decided to make this video where you will get all of your questions answered. Without further ado, here's everything you need to know about this amazing country, India.
India's history is incredibly old, as one of the earliest and largest civilizations, the Indus civilization, lived in India 2500 before Christ. Located in the Indus Valley, this civilization was highly developed. They used tools made from iron, relied trade, had sophisticated urban planning, and even a written language which remains undeciphered to this day. From there, India saw the rise of the Vedic civilization, groundwork for the language of Sanskrit, and the earliest Hindu texts. As Indo-Aryan people became less nomadic and more urbanized, other major religions such as Buddhism arose in the last millennium before Christ. During the medieval period of India's history, the caste system established a strong foothold in Indian society. Islam arrived and political powers began to be more centralized. The largest and greatest Mughal empire which took power in the 16th century. Under their rule, India became more united than ever before as they were able to unite some Muslim items. The 16th century also saw the arrival of the British as they set up the East India Company with the permission of Queen Elizabeth I. 2 centuries later, the Mughal Empire began to decline and the British saw an opportunity of India and expand their vast empire. The Indian people were very hostile toward the British, and for good reason. The British met any rebellion with violence, and there were several massacres of Indian people throughout the British rule. It was extremely difficult for the Indian people to fight back because during the course of the British rule there were a total of 31 major famines in India, which millions of people. The final straw came after World War I when India experienced an economic crisis that led to food shortages, riots, and a major influenza outbreak. The Indian people desperately needed leadership in their efforts for independence and turned to the legendary Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi was an advocate for non-violent protest and encouraged the Indian people to be non-cooperative with the British. As a result, Gandhi was arrested by the British in 1922 for conspiracy to overthrow the government and was imprisoned to 2 years. Upon his release from Gandhi continued to travel around India and encouraged people to engage in civil disobedience as a way of non-violent protest, which gained a massive following across the country. In 1943, Gandhi, now 73 years old, was arrested yet again, but this time without any charge, and so began a hunger strike in prison, which lasted for 21 days and was only released when the public's anger to this injustice became uncontrollable. Finally, in the wake of World War II, the British government could no longer sustain their occupation of India and began to write the legislation that would end their rule. And so, in 1947, after 2 years of British rule, India became a free and independent nation. No matter what. India could rightly be called the world's capital of religion as it's the birthplace of Hinduism. Now over 44 million cows here, the highest amount in the world.
One of the most diverse and incredible cuisines ever that varies greatly depending on the region.
The northern Indian cuisine is known for having thick, rich, and dairy-heavy dishes that use a wide range of local fruits and vegetables which grow throughout the year. In the south, the dishes are largely rice-based, and there you will find some of the spiciest food in the country. If you have a sweet tooth, then you should definitely head to the east because some of India's most famous desserts come from this part of the country. Finally, the western part of India has a great mix of meat and vegetarian dishes so that everyone is looking.
Indians are completely crazy about cricket. It is pretty much everywhere in this country. It is by far the biggest sport.
In 1983, the India national cricket team achieved arguably the biggest upset in the sport's history when they beat the West Indies, the two-time defending champions, in the World Cup. The players on that team became national heroes, and since then, India's cricket players are among the most famous people in the country. India also won the 2011 World Cup at home in Mumbai against Sri Lanka, and people celebrated with parties on the streets, firecrackers, flags, and lots of dancing.
Cricket is so popular that in the last few dozen years, the number of households in India with a TV jumped from 30 million to hundreds of millions, largely so that people could keep up with their favorite sport. Have you seen that video of me spending 5 days living in the slums of Mumbai? If you thought that's what most of India looks like, check this out. India is the world's fastest growing economy and the 7th largest overall. What is their largest export? All things IT.
In 2017 alone, that generated...
If you think that the only place you should explore in India is the Taj Mahal, you are very wrong. Here are my top favorite touristy places you should explore.
Let's start with the Statue of Unity, which is the world's tallest statue that's 182 meters tall and looks absolutely unreal, especially from the distance. Ancient town of Orcha, which used to be one of the richest Indian cities, that's home to some incredibly beautiful forts and palaces you can get lost in. Moving on, there's one of the most popular hill stations in India called Mahabaleshwar that has one of the rainforests in India, as well as an awe-inspiring canyon and gorgeous mountain roads. Place to visit number 4 is one of my favorite places in India, Hampi, which used to be the world's 2nd largest city in the 14th century that's now become a tiny village with amazing temple ruins, as well as lots of beautiful nature spots. Then there's the world-famous Rani Ki Vav temple that has over 500 intricate statues and is so well preserved it's even been called the cleanest iconic place of India. The white sand butterfly beach in the state of Goa that will take quite a while to reach but make you feel so good you'll never want to leave it. Trust me, I know, because I've been there.
Now that you watched the whole video, you need to do 2 things. First off, when you finally get to come to India, please spend loads of time exploring the remote parts of this beautiful country, not only the touristy sites. Post this video on your social media with the hashtag Namaste and show your friends how much you know about this gorgeous country called India. Thank you very much and stay curious wherever you are in the world. Boom!
Okay, welcome back. So he mentioned a few places there and I'll quickly go through them. Initially I told you about the run of Kutch. Wherever you see, where is the pointer? Yeah, wherever you see this, I have visited, and if we have to see my pictures and all that, that will take a long time. So this is basically a salt desert, and it...
Sire?
Yeah?
I think for some reason, or at least I cannot see your screen. Can the others see your screen?
I can.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's just my problem. Okay, I will reconnect. Okay.
Okay, then I will just wait.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I can see it as well.
Okay, so better go again. Yeah, so this I talked earlier. This is the world's largest salt desert, 30,000. This basically is Indo-Pak border, and I personally went there, and I was really scared because the border security force was there. I think we were just allowed 1.5 kilometers into this desert, because after that it's very difficult for the folk on the either side to take care of civilians. Then he did mention the Orcha, basically 16th, 17th century. It's in Madhya Pradesh. Mahabaleshwar Hill, this is in Maharashtra. It happened to be the summer capital of British Raj, known for very nice, breathtaking scenery, but should be only visited just after the monsoon. Then only you can see those walls. Hampi town, it's a UNESCO site. It's a 14th century old town. Rani Ka Vav is being stepwell, so basically the queen along with her other female accomplices would be staying here and doing basically a queen's palace. It's as old as 11th century. It's in Gujarat. This is Butterfly Beach. Basically, it's between Palolem and Agonda in South Goa, and that's why it has got a shape of butterfly. And if you remember, I talked of the Baha'i faith. So this is in near famous, and it's Baha'i house of worship where all religions are welcome. Baha'i basically is a religion which says that all religions are welcome to be a part of Baha'i faith. This is Ghum. This is between east and northeastern of the Indian country. This monasteries and also the highest railway station in India to 2,258 meters. This is in West Bengal. I would not be able to cover much of the food because it's going to be quite a long thing, but few things you have in the video. And I like to stress more on this, the life in India, how we all are getting groomed, or how we grow up, or how we live. As a kid, I think that's the best time. The most important thing is you can see that Friday, Sunday, regular weekend is a thing everywhere else also. But this important thing which is there in the childhood memory, that we can just go out and play anywhere and no one actually cares. And the school life is a very interesting thing in the Indian life, because it's only about competition and pressure from family, from society. Even your neighbor would knock and say, okay, how is your son or daughter doing? My son got this, your son got this. So till class 6 we all feel good, but after class 8 we really get to feel the pressure. The college life is the real and exploration time for us. We often get deviated because we try to get accustomed to the real life. Work life, either a single or a dual. Single is like you wake up, make breakfast, go to work, eat out, you come home, watch TV, crash in bed. Weekends, you just try to sneak here and there and just hang out. In a dual mode, whether live-in or married, live-in is quite popular now in India, and also, if I remember, the Supreme Court of India has made live-in at par to a married relation. All the activities are there, and just activities get added because you are in a live-in or married thing. This is this is equally important, the golden days. Unlike the other countries, our government does not have a uniform pension provision for every citizen, so people just working years and they are dependent on their children. One thing about food, whether you come to Delhi in north, or West Bengal in east, or Maharashtra in south, or Kerala or Tamil Nadu, any place in southern India, is the thing called thali. Thali is nothing but a big round plate having of dishes. And if we talk of the usual eating in Indian life, the breakfast is commonly referred as nashta, which is in Hindi. Tea or coffee is compulsory and gets repeated a number of times. Lunch, if we talk of east and southern India, rice dominates. If we talk of northern and western, the rotis or the Indian dominate. Dinner is usually together for the entire family, and people tend to wait till 11 or even more because of the traffic. Well, your question could be, if I come to India, what kind of activities can I associate myself? So this is not a big video, this is just 1 or 2 minutes. And let's see. Nathan, you are able to see, right?
Yeah, I can see it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Okay.